Welcome to another episode of CyberSafe News and Views. My name is Lee and I'll be your guide. In today's episode, backups. Why do we need them? What stories have you heard? And what is good for your small business? It might be different than other people. Everything you ever wanted to know, or maybe you didn't, but were afraid to ask. We're going to cover it today. And the news. Microsoft again is making the news for all the wrong reasons. Chrome and those free extensions, buyer beware. Smishing attacks, ASUS routers, do you have one? And sonic walls, you have one of those? Stay tuned. We're going to cover it.
Technology is an integral part of our lives. We use it every day, and it extends our access to information through things we can't even see. With technology surrounding us and growing at such a fast rate, knowledge of how to use this resource and stay safe in the meantime is imperative. Welcome to CyberSafe News and Views, where we answer questions and share information to keep you in the know and cyber safe.
All right, backups. So I'm not assuming anything. What's a backup? Well, it's a backup of what you consider valuable. So as I've mentioned before, grandma likes her pictures. She's got pictures of the grandbaby, pictures of everybody else through the ages. That's valuable to her. It's imperative that you make sure those are backed up. But for the small business or the small practice, it's critical. It's vital that you keep protected and backed up all your customer, patient-related data. You might have x-rays, you might have pictures, whatever's part of your business, you need to make sure that data is backed up. What happens if you walk in Monday morning and all my data is gone? What do you do? Do you have a backup? So I've seen the worst, because when they finally come to me, it's we've lost everything. Can you do anything? And typically the answer is no. If you haven't backed up before you're hacked, before your device crashes, before whatever event happens, hey, I accidentally dropped my laptop in the lake. What can you do? Probably not much. So I've seen it all. Please back up your data. It's really easy. If your data is backed up, it's really easy to get you back up and functioning. But if it's not backed up, creating things out of thin air is difficult. So what do you do when things go wrong? You know, honestly, obviously, you drop your laptop in a lake. Good luck. You accidentally delete a file. Maybe you can get it back. Maybe not. Or worse, you have a cybersecurity event and they encrypt all your data. They don't encrypt the whole OS. The OS still the operating system still boots, but everything you ever knew on that device is gone. So any database files, patient files, again, customer files, whatever it is, partner, vendor information, all gone. Well, but I keep it all in Google Drive, or I keep it in my email. You know, it's still possible to lose those too, because if your files get encrypted on your device, those are replicating off to the Google Drives, the OneDrives, the iClouds. So you need to be careful about that and know how important is my data and what do I need to do about it to protect it. So let's dive in a little bit more. Devices fail. Accidents happen. Device information gets lost. You have a cybersecurity event. All these things are why you need to back up your data, because theoretically your computer's going to run forever, right? No, it's not. It's not going to run forever. Devices fail. So get your data backed up before that happens. That's actually the best case, because if a device fails, maybe it wasn't the hard drive, then we can still access it, get all your information back. But if it was the hard drive, then we're going to have patchy data. So be careful with that. So I've mentioned a couple types of backups that you have available to you. The easiest, the most common I was looking for on my desk, I don't have one, is little thumb drives. or an external hard drive that you have that you plug in. Western Digital makes them. Samsung makes them. I've got one of those in my bag. You can get those. I'm not a fan of USB drives. Sorry. It's probably the easiest way for you to back up files. It's fast. It backs up locally. And then whenever something happens, you've got all your data on this one little device that you can restore from. Good. I'm just not a fan of USB drives, simply because if you share them, then whatever the other computer had in terms of viruses, ransomware, malware, your computer has. And it's just waiting to see all of your data before it encrypts. But USB drives are a possible way. A couple problems with them: they can be stolen. They can be infected. Or it could just be damaged because it's so small, you drop it on the floor and crunch, you accidentally step on it. Maybe it's still good. Maybe you can still get the data off there, but USB drives is one method of doing it. The second method that I really recommend is cloud. So if you've got your phone, here we go. Got a phone here, iCloud. Back up all your pictures, back up all your email and everything else into iCloud. Great. Works. Love it. If you're not backing up your device, you should. So sign into your device, make sure, Android or Apple, and get your backup started. Generally for a certain size, those are free. Those are included. Get those going. Google Drive. If you have Google Drive, I've got a Gmail address. Yeah, I've got Google Drive. Nothing there is vitally important for me. Nothing there is critical that if I lost it, I would expose too much information, number one, or not be able to run my business, number two. So I use Google Drive. It's not imperative to me. Dropbox, Sync, we use Sync, and that allows us to store all of our information in the cloud. It's encrypted, two-factor authentication. That's good for us. Now, what you might want to look into is actually backing up with software focused on backups and the backup security. That's what we run for all of our clients. And that software will back up the entire computer. Not trying to shake the mouse there. Shake the camera. It'll back up the entire computer. And then if ever you need anything off of that, we can run that as a virtual machine and then pull off individual files. Yes, it does require help from someone who knows the software, but it's more secure, it's more protected. And on top of that, my software focuses on security. So if it notices that, hey, certain files are getting encrypted, it can automatically recognize that, stop the procedure, and back those files off from what was encrypted to its original state. So can there be false positives? Yeah, I imagine. I've never seen one for us. We've never had an encryption event that wasn't real for and part of our security standard. So just evaluate your backup needs. How much data do you have? How vitally important is it? Monday morning, if you walk in and your office burnt down, now what do you do? And then start to make informed decisions on that. Typical mistakes. Someone's doing that for me. I paid for a backup. I heard this one recently. I paid for a backup. Well, you didn't get what you paid for. Sorry. And when you have to tell someone that, I can't help it that you paid for a backup. You didn't get what you paid for. Did the person know it, or did they just assume it was still happening? I don't know. But someone is doing that for me. You can't take a hands-off approach to your backup, to your data. The more critical it is, the more important you get some type of notification daily that your backup completed successfully. We'll talk about some other aspects as well. Typical mistake. Oh, I'm in charge of it. I forgot. Okay, that's fine until the day that you need that backup and you've forgotten for the last 2 weeks. Let's be honest, 2 months, maybe 2 years. It's what I typically see. When someone starts to take on the responsibility, they do it for a while. They might be cycling in 3 different USB drives and all good practices, but then they forget. And then it becomes less important. And then it becomes, well, it's probably not going to happen to me. And then we end up going, 12 to 18 months without a backup. So be careful. Not confirming my data was actually backed up. That is a huge issue. So you stick in one of these little devices and it ends up in your system tray at the bottom right corner. It says, hey, I'm backing up your data. Yeah, until it's not. Because these things typically either run out of disk space or they have a problem. The OS updates and it needs some additional patching or validation to allow that backup to keep happening, and it stops. And it hasn't then restarted in the last 12 months. And then you're thinking you have a great backup and you haven't confirmed anything. You need to confirm that your data was backed up effectively and you've got a good copy. And sorry, that's probably at least weekly. With our clients, they get a daily email. And then not testing the restore process. I've got all my data, great. But you're doing it yourself. How do I get it back? How do I restore? How do I put things back in place when the worst happens? When you're under that kind of stress where I need my data back, I've got to be open, I've got to be processing clients or patients, and suddenly now I've got to do the backup and restore, and now's not the time to be learning how to make that happen. So you need to take that seriously and test the restore before you need it. If you're a DIYer, I mentioned this a little bit in passing already, you need to keep 3 copies of a USB drive. So if you're going to do USB drives, great. You need 3 copies. 2 that you cycle in and out, and 1 that you cycle in and then take it offline, so that for about a month at a time, so that file, if the worst happens and you get hacked, your 2 devices that you're swapping in and out get encrypted, which is likely before you'll ever notice that you're hacked. Then you've got that device offline that's a month old. Not great, but better than what it could be. So cycle those 3 in and out. I always recommend encrypting your USB drives so that the data just can't walk away. If you were to leave it in your convertible, you're making so much money, you got a nice Mercedes or BMW convertible and your backup's on the back seat, and then you go into Starbucks for a coffee and your backup walked away. Things happen, and maybe not so maliciously, maybe you just lose it. Wouldn't it be nice to know, if you have compliance obligations, that, hey, we don't need to actually report this because it was encrypted and protected. All right. If you have an IT company, a couple recommendations for you today. Ask about the status of your backup. When was the last time it completed successfully? Ask to see the files. Can you show me? I just made a new file for my billing or for my marketing or whatever. Do you have that file? And then the last thing, set up a test restore. Have them show you, what is it going to take? How long am I going to be out? Is that acceptable to you? And then evaluate based on what they're doing for you today. Is the backup valid and good? And then when they tell you, yeah, but it's going to take us 2 days to get you set back up, is that adequate for you? If it's not, ask them for a different backup solution. There are other backup solutions that you can go with that would actually put a computer on site that could run your machine as a virtual machine. You don't need to know all the details behind it, but if they tell you, yeah, it's going to take us 48 hours, it very likely might. If that's not acceptable, let's look into some other backup options. But confirm your IT company is doing the work you've paid them for and you have a good backup. All right. We have a webinar on this topic May 20th, next month. That is just about a month away, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you want more information, if you have questions, or you just want to see, what else is there out there? What can I be doing? What should I be doing? We're going to dive deep into this topic, and we are going to take all questions from everyone online and answer your questions in real time. So if you have more questions, you can leave us a comment down on this video, on the podcast. We answer all questions and I'll get back to you, or you can attend that webinar. That webinar, you'll see, you can go to cybersafenewsandviews.com and you can sign up for the webinar there. This week, making the news. Microsoft, again, I mentioned all the wrong reasons, right? Well, if you patch to the newest 24H2 feature update and you're getting blue, we call them BSODs, blue screens of death, there's nothing you can do about it. Microsoft hasn't figured out exactly what this is yet. They haven't patched it. So all you can do, if that's happening to your PC, and I have many PCs under management that it's not happening to, so it may not happen to you, but if it is, you have to remove that feature build. So 24H2 has to be removed. Microsoft's got articles on this. If you want more information, search that if you haven't already. If you have questions and you just can't find it, leave us a comment. I'll link an article and some information from Microsoft. But you never want your operating system to be causing you problems like that. Chrome has, I love Chrome. I use Chrome. You may use other things, other Brave, Firefox, Edge, don't care. I use Chrome, and there's tons of free extensions. So there's tons of free extensions. Those extensions do certain things for you, and that's up to you to decide if you need that. But I can tell you that Chrome has recently reported that some of their more popular extensions with over 6 million downloads have tracking software in them. Now, what are they tracking? How serious is this? Has it already been removed? Yes, they've already been removed. But the tracking software, the damage is done. Where were you going? What were you doing online that you maybe should not have been doing? Or you were doing business online, but you had this extension installed and they saw all your traffic. Now, who is they? How bad is this? Was it just a built-in thing? That's still to come. Honestly, we don't know at this point, but it's never a good thing when someone gives you something free that then they're benefiting from by tracking you. So if my recommendation to you is don't use any extensions that you don't already pay for or definitely need to run your business. If you're using or any of your staff installs a coupon printer, guess what? I've seen them across the board, or it monitors where you are and then says, hey, so-and-so has a coupon for that item. Click here. Not for your business. Home use, great. Let's not do those for your business. So no extensions for your Chrome browser that aren't needed to run your business, please. And if it's freeware, shareware, which all of those are, be careful. Be very careful. All right. And in Android news, Android users, give me a like. Give me a like. Huh? No? Fine, I won't tell you. Okay, fine, I'll tell you. Smishing attacks targeting Android devices gives access to the hackers to your stored credit cards. What? Yeah, simply because you clicked on an SMS text and it said, hey, message here, insert your garbage, quite honestly. Click this and we'll fix it. Great. Never click on a link in an SMS text. Now, I realize that you might have relatives that send you nice information from Facebook in SMS, or they might send you, hey, oh, it's a cute little kitty video. Don't click on links in SMS. Please, Not at all. There's no way to really tell where they're going, what they're trying to do, and simply by clicking, they get access to your device. So if it's a rogue, if it's a bad actor with bad intentions, simply by clicking on it, it's too late. So it surprises me that these things make the news, except that people aren't educated. Never click on anything. Even if you get something from UPS that says your package is 5 stops away, great. If you ordered something and it's coming to you via UPS, great. Go to ups.com. Don't trust those USPS. Hey, your package is at the warehouse, but we can't deliver it to you. It was not addressed correctly. Do you really think the USPS has your phone number, but not your address? So use common sense, but my recommendation is never click on a link in SMS. Just don't do it. And that's text for anyone who may not know. All right, on to the next topic. ASUS routers. Who has an ASUS router? Be honest. Anyone? I don't. I've never subscribed to ASUS. Never really liked it. ASUS has recently announced they have a flaw allowing bad actors to allowing bad actors unauthorized access to your data. So it basically turns your router into a cloud device, giving them access to anything that router sees and anything that is plugged into that router, meaning USB backup devices potentially, so everyone can back up to it locally. Yeah, gives them access to all of your information. So if you have an ASUS router, definitely get it patched. My personal opinion, I'd replace it and use different things, especially if you're doing it in the office. There are business grade devices, routers, firewalls that are not that expensive that you can run on your office to keep everything secure. So if you're depending on an ASUS router in your office, in your business, or for that matter at home, and you're doing work from there, be careful. Let's get them patched. Let's get the firmware updated to the most recent version, and then let's check back in. So if you want more on that one, leave me a comment down below, and or go to Bleeping Computer, one of the sources I get some of my data from. And the last news article, anyone have a Sonic wall? You've done your due diligence. You've invested in a Sonic wall firewall device, and you're using it to try and keep your office, your data, all your information secure, right? Well, if you have one, ask your IT team about it, because if it hasn't been patched since January, actually, that should be April of this year. Sonic Wall recently released a new patch because of a vulnerability that is exploited in the wild, meaning it's out there, folks. It's in business. Sonic Wall is used in small, medium, possibly, and maybe even large businesses. But for this podcast, the small to medium business, it's used out there. If you have one, you think you're secure, you made all the right decisions. If your IT team has not looked at it recently and patched with this recent vulnerability, you are at risk. So please talk to your IT team. If you have a device and you're not sure, leave us a comment. We'll reach out to us. We'll make sure we'll give you the firmware. You log in and you confirm that it is loaded. So if it's not, on some level, you might want to replace the device if it's not possible to upgrade, or get it updated as soon as possible, because these vulnerabilities leave the bad actors with access to your data, your networks, and there's nothing really you can do about it. So besides patch those devices and get them back to secure. And see, the common thing is everyone thinks, well, I did all my work. I researched, I found a good firewall, I got good Wi-Fi, and my guests aren't on my Wi-Fi, and I did all this work. Yeah, but this is an ongoing battle. The bad actors are always looking for the newest thing to make you click on it or get access without you having any knowledge to your data, to all your information. This is a fight This is not something you just, well, I did it and I'm done. Sorry. So, all right. That's the news for the week. I would ask you to go out to CyberSafe News and Views.com to sign up. You can download our ebook completely free. Ebook tells you more about security best practices. It's a NIST document that I have surmised and written into additional topics, into smaller topics, more consumable. You can get best practices and things like that. We have an upcoming webinar. I mentioned that earlier on May 20th on backups. More detail about that. And then if you really want to try and go this alone, I have a monthly subscription that's called Tech Notes. Tech Notes is a newsletter for the DIYer. So if you really want to do this for yourself and you want to be secure online and have compliance as part of your focus as well, sign up for that. I believe it's like $29 a month, and you get a monthly 2-page document saying what we're going to focus on this month. Dives deep into it and lets you take control. Very cost effective, and you can still stay safe online. All right, folks, that's it. If you have any comments or questions, please leave us a like or a comment down below. We answer all questions. If you found this content valuable, please like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, stay cyber safe.